Joshua Cribbs turns disaster into a score!
Ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
Washed it down with 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary. And I said, Stone Cold, why have one when you can have them both?
Swung out and drilled! Deep right center! Away back! Gone for Tony!
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton?
Awful.
How is she awful?
Hates freedom.
And now, Any Given Podcast with your hosts, Brendan Ward and Ethan Simpson.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Hello, everybody, and welcome on into another fantastic episode of Any Given Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brendan Ward, sitting across the internet again from my main man,
Ethan Simpson. How are you?
Not too bad today, Ethan. We're going to go ahead and get right into the selling them some stuff. The Numbers Don't Lie shirt, you're wearing it there. It looks gorgeous on you, if I may add. It adds to it all. The beard, the hat, the headphones, the whole get-up. Just the Numbers Don't Lie shirt stands out there, shines. Where can they get the Numbers Don't Lie shirt, my man?
You can get the Numbers Don't Lie shirt at KentStagePosters.com. That is KentStagePosters.com.
Go ahead and jump on that. What else can they get at KentStagePosters.com?
Oh, you can get Dr. John posters. You can get Aaron Neville posters. You can get Robert Cray posters. You can get Anna Popovic posters. You can get Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band posters. You can get all these different posters there at KentStagePosters.com.
Any poster, like you said, from the Kent Stage. Another thing I want to add to about the Kent Stage is as they look forward to reopening in just a couple of weeks, I think it's like 18 days to be exact, check out the new website, kentstage.org. Tons of new things there, a bunch of new shows coming up. You can take a look back at past events and check it all out. Get yourself a membership, Friends of the Kent Stage. You'll get all the emails, all the updates. Subscribe to the mailing list. You'll get to read maybe some stuff that I get to send out. Pretty fun. I just wanted to mention the new website. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into some sports. We'll start with football. Falcons linebacker Barkevious Mingo, ex-Cleveland Brown, has been charged with indecency with a child. Charged with indecency with a child's sexual contact. So when it first came out, we were just we knew it was a minor, things like that. Since then, I've done a little more investigating, more like just reading what's on the internet. Arrest warrant was obtained by ESPN on Monday. It details the allegations by a boy who was then 13. So a 13-year-old boy who says Mingo pulled at his underwear and touched him inappropriately back in July of 2019, which means the boy is like 14 at this point, 15. So still pretty young. The boy says he and a friend were staying at a hotel with Barkevious after a trip to an amusement park and restaurant, according to the warrant. Mingo has been released. He was released Friday on a $25,000 bond. So a 13-year-old boy and his friend have permission to stay at a hotel with Barkevious Mingo after attending an amusement park and restaurant with him. Your thoughts, Ethan, before I get into it.
Oh, okay. I'm going to dial back to the Deshaun Watson thing. I'm not going to be the judge nor the jury because that's not my job, obviously. Yeah. So they arrested him. He was released on bail. There is a trial coming up. So We will see what the trial comes up. I'm not saying that this did not happen. I'm not saying that this did happen. I'm not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
Didn't happen? Or okay. All right. But if it did happen, he is facing 2 years in prison. Barkevious Mingo, who is a Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. Yeah, it's just it's one of those things, man, that always comes up, and everybody wants to talk about it in sports, and or in politics, or in entertainment, or anything that you listen to, or whoever listens to. I'm not going to be the judge or jury until everything comes out and they find a verdict. If it is true, then yes, he needs to serve that 2-year sentence. And Barkevious Mingo is a very big guy. So it might be a little hard for them to take him down in jail because child molesters are like the number one people to get got in prison. I just don't think why would a 13-year-old boy make up that story? That's my question.
I agree with you. It's very with a 13-year-old, now 15-year-old. It's very random to me that and not random in a derogatory way. Random to me that this story would come out about Barkevious Mingo. Here's just a normal run-of-the-mill NFL athlete. It's just, and I'm not saying that can't be a case, because it can. The situation to me is weird. Why is a 13-year-old boy allowed in that situation in the first place? But like you said, I can't be innocent until proven guilty. But should this be true, at least the 2 years in prison. Give him more, by all means. Send him, lock him in there. Don't let him out if that's the case. Like, if this is true and it truly comes out that he was doing this to a child, lock him in there, throw away the key. Bye-bye, Barkevious Mingo, basically. I don't ever want to hear that you were outside of a prison again. Because for someone to do that to a child is just very terribly wrong, no matter what. But yeah, it's. I also, like you said, what 13-year-old is just sitting at home thinking, man, I could really tell somebody that Barkevious Mingo, touched me when I was that young, and so I'm inclined to believe a child. The biggest thing from this, as far as the NFL goes, is the lawyer's statement to the Falcons being that he is very upset that they chose to release Barkevious Mingo despite not knowing the true facts of the situation. Even going so far as to say that the accuser as well as his client Barkevious both know that these allegations are false and wayward and untrue. But the thing is they're here, and the Falcons gotta err on the side of caution, and not try to stand with somebody being accused of a situation like this, especially with a child. Trevor Bauer, not to bring up a completely unrelated topic, but Trevor Bauer was under a lot of fire. More or less, the Dodgers were under fire because they were going to put Trevor Bauer on the mound, and then the MLB swooped in and was like, nope, he's suspended until we tell you he's good to come back. And that was with a grown adult who Trevor Bauer seemingly had taken it too far with, that started as consensual. But within Barkevious Mingo's situation, there's no such thing as consent with a 13-year-old boy.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, with Barkevious, he had... Sorry, not Barkevious. With Bauer has text messages that he has saved that he sent to his lawyers and to the MLB and to everyone, that she asked for rough sex, to be choked, to be punched in the face, to be spit in her mouth, all these things. I'm sorry if you're listening, Mom. I'm sorry that you have to hear these things. And I apologize to your family too, Brendan. But and then after the first time, she said she absolutely loved it when she went unconscious for a few seconds. So Bauer decided to go a little too far and then did some other things that weren't consensual. That's just what I've read from that. But it's completely different from a grown woman with a grown man consensually having sex compared to a grown man molesting a 13-year-old child after manipulating him into going to an amusement park and then staying at a hotel with him. But like I said, I'm not going to be the judge or jury. That's for people that actually have law degrees to decide. So
Exactly. We're just kind of here to tell him, but really, not much else I could say besides that he's been charged, and what we've already said. If things are true, send him to prison. If things are untrue, then he's got to work himself back. But these things don't just come out of nowhere.
yeah, absolutely. And why would this young man wait 2 years just to randomly come out with this?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing you have that makes you think. Why would he just randomly come out? Maybe he had to start going to therapy or something like that, where he was talking to his therapist, and his therapist told his parents, and so on and so forth, and they contacted the authorities.
Yeah.
But all right, to move on from that into a little brighter news than that. So the Cleveland Browns, they are scheduled to unveil their new 75th year anniversary uniforms on 7/24/21. That is July 24th, 2021. What are your thoughts on that?
I'd really like to see an orange jersey, because I've always just thought that you could mix an orange jersey in well with brown pants, maybe even white pants, depending on the shade of orange. But I imagine here we're gonna get an all white version of the Color Rush jerseys, and too bad we can't get a white helmet with it until next year.
Yeah, that is true. I didn't think about that. I watched their video that was released on Monday, that the Cleveland Browns released, and it was all the old school players that were wearing the white helmets. And at first I was like, oh, they're going to do the white helmets. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. And then you just reminded me that they can't do that until next year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give me an all orange jersey.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
I would love an orange jersey, bro. Like, back in the mid 2000s, they did that orange jersey, and it was all right. Like, it wasn't great. And then they unveiled the orange jersey a couple years ago with Johnny Manziel and the boys, and those were just atrocious. I really think that an orange jersey sets it apart. I'm a big fan of Denver's orange jersey that they wear, despite the fact that I can't stand the Denver Broncos. I think an orange jersey here in Cleveland, in a season where they could really, in the way things are looking and the work that it seems like the team is putting in, they could really contend for a Super Bowl this year. And here in Cleveland, we tend to rally around jerseys. You know what I'm saying? The Cavaliers, when they won in 2016, wore those black jerseys like every game, no matter if they were home or away, because they felt like those were jerseys that they were winning in. They felt confident in those jerseys, even though they were some of the uglier jerseys they've ever worn. But they did well. You know what I'm saying? The sleeved jerseys, I hated those. But
I mean, the first time LeBron ever wore it, he ripped his sleeves off of them.
But then again, I guess they followed it up the next year with a jersey that looked like it had tire tread on it, so I can't be too mad.
Yeah, they haven't really hit it on the head since. I mean, a lot of people uh, excuse me. A lot of people like their city jerseys, like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame jerseys. I do not.
Uh,
I don't at all.
they could be better. I'm like the font is just like okay, this is cool that you use different bands fonts, but like overrated. Use the Rock and Roll Hall font that you use for that, or do a lot more to commemorate the Rock Hall than just use fonts from legendary bands. Uh, I think the only jersey that they've remotely had decent to me is the jersey that goes with the blue and white hoodie that you have,
Yes.
and that's just
Yeah,
because I like that soft blue color.
that was their first excuse me. Oh, jeez Louise. Like I said, I did do some vocal
Yeah,
exercises before this, but yeah, that was their first city jersey because it's like the blue and orange with the stripe down it.
yeah.
That's a that's a sweet hoodie. That's a sweet jersey. I would love to get one, but I think the only person I could get was Larry Nance
And
Junior, not senior.
yeah, and back then we weren't sure if he was here for a long time. So so there's that. So yeah, back to the Browns jerseys. I'd really like orange, but I really think we're gonna get white. If I'm being totally honest, I'm not sure the Browns are ready to go that bold with the jersey, with the orange jersey. I think they decided to dump them after the atrociousness that was the mid 2010s.
Yeah. Do you remember in the early 2010s when they went back to the white jerseys before they got the new jerseys?
Yeah,
And I'm talking about the stupid ones everybody hated before they went back to their old ones.
yeah. I got what you're saying.
They played like every home game wearing those jerseys, the white jerseys at home. So maybe they're going back to that.
It's just in Daryl, our good old pal Daryl Ryder has been tweeting a little about it. He's on hiatus right now, it seems, but he keeps talking about it leaning towards white. He mentioned about the white helmets and stuff like that after everyone started asking him if he's seen them and stuff. So I think we're gonna get white. I'm not gonna be disappointed if it's a decent looking white jersey, because sometimes white can be clean. I've seen white jerseys worn in the Super Bowl that on those extra special cameras they only break out for February games just look absolutely gorgeous. And I don't give excuse my bad language, but I don't give a damn what they're wearing if they're hoisting a Lombardi trophy.
Oh, absolutely.
They could be wearing yellow jerseys for all I care if they're hoisting a Lombardi. Same with the Dallas Cowboys.
Let's not talk about. I don't want them wearing yellow or black.
I got you. Maybe yellow was a weird color to go. All right, they could wear pink jerseys as long as they're hoisting a Super Bowl trophy. I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying? But moving on from Browns jerseys to kind of keep us on time. UFC 264 was over the weekend. Main event: Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor, the third in the trilogy of what we thought would only be a trilogy of fights. Dustin Poirier gets a TKO victory. However, it is via doctor stoppage. McGregor steps back after throwing a punch near the end of the first round. About 5 seconds left to go in the first round, and his ankle or his tibia snaps, and it's another one of those freak injuries that you don't like to see, a la like where we saw Dak Prescott's hanging there, Josh Naylor a couple of weeks ago, now Conor McGregor, where you zoom in on his ankle and it moves like it's Play-Doh, basically, and so a nasty injury for him. I weirdly told my sister yesterday that I think that it may have been the best thing for his career.
Okay. His career now
Yeah,
or period?
his career now.
Yes, his career now. Yeah, because if he lost again, it would
It's
just
over.
be Yeah.
Yeah. How can you... If he lost that fight outright, Poirier knocked him out, submitted him, or even beat him by decision, how can you sell me another Conor fight? Based off the fact that the only person he's beat in the last 5 years is Donald Cerrone, who in his own right was all right back in the day, but hasn't been really shit in a couple years. He's lost to every big name that's faced him. Dustin Poirier was supposed to be somebody he was going to run through again on his way to another title fight, and here we are 2 fights later, and he hasn't won either of them. So for Conor to have that built-in excuse now that, hey, I still had a shot to win that fight, but my my leg gave out on me, I think allows the UFC and Conor McGregor to sell another fight to the fans. And if he somehow wins that fight, he gets a 5th fight as well. So I think the breaking of the leg changed Conor's career ending to him having at least 2 more big money fights, if he can escape with a win in the next fight. Because Conor is not the same. He could still sell the hell out of a fight. He's still a marketing genius, all of that stuff. But people can say that he had his chances in the Poirier fight in that first round. But once he tried to wrestle Poirier, he had no shot. He had Poirier in a guillotine, and that's how the wrestling started. And then Poirier still won the round. It's kind of how it goes. So all I got to say is people got to look at Conor fights and be like, okay, I'm not going to stand and punch with that guy. Take him to the ground. It's over.
Yeah. And, oh my gosh, such a disgusting video. I mean, everybody wants to post that screenshot. It was like his shin bone was touching the mat, and the rest of his foot was facing due east.
Yeah.
You know? It was disgusting. But what he needs to start working on is making his own team of fighters. Work with the UFC, create his own team of fighters. Get one of those shows that they love having, like on HBO or ESPN Plus, whatever. And that's what he should focus on from now on, instead of trying to get back into the ring. Because those last few fights have just kind of been like, it's not the swag McGregor we saw in 2016.
Mystic Mac is dead. Yeah.
Absolutely, and he's fuck you, man.
Yeah, Mystic Mac is dead. Champ is gone. It's over with. He hasn't beat anybody. Habib lost. Poirier lost. The other guy he fought before Cerrone, he lost. He's not on a good trajectory, and I guess if people still buy pay-per-views, they're still gonna book him, but eventually he keeps taking these, and I think if he wants to get back in the ring, he needs to rehire new people, because them legs have not been good to him lately.
No, they have not. But Silva did come back from that leg injury that was almost the same, except his bent around. Oh shoot,
Weidman.
What's his name?
Chris Weidman.
Yes, and then he was fighting Silva, and then his leg bent around his. Kind of funny. Not funny. Kind of ironic.
Yeah, but
that makes sense.
I get what you're saying, but Silva came back and kept fighting, but Silva was never Silva again.
Yeah.
Silva was the best we'd ever seen.
Yeah, for his weight class, absolutely.
I don't even know for his weight class. I think pound for pound, at that time, prior to that injury, Silva was the best we'd ever seen in all of MMA.
Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah. Okay. I thought you meant in general, be like after that too.
No, not after that. After the injury, he was just another guy. He could still win a fight, but he was not a top of the line guy. He wasn't an elite guy anymore. And a lot of it could be age. He did get old. You know what I'm saying? Old for the sport. He's still only in his 40s. And now I guess he's gonna box.
Okay. I guess if he doesn't have to use his legs that much.
Might be all
I mean,
right
for
at it.
striking, he doesn't have to strike with his legs.
Yeah, he might
Then,
be all right at boxing.
yeah. Yeah.
I could see it, and I mean, the translation of boxing while cardio probably isn't easier. The fighting style is.
Yeah.
Less you got to worry about.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some more rule. I mean, there's simpler rules, but I wouldn't say boxing is easier. It's just you just got to get that mixed martial arts out of your brain. You know, that jujitsu and everything like that. Because once you try to throw that, then you start losing points. Remember the McGregor Mayweather fight when he started losing. He started throwing kicks.
Yeah, that was his biggest breakdown in that fight. I think is mentally he couldn't get around the fact that if he was in trouble, all right, well let me hammer fist or elbow somebody. Hell yeah, bro.
Right.
Yeah,
And he was trying to hit him like that. He was trying to hit Mayweather like that, trying to hammer fist him.
yeah. I mean, and part of it is McGregor is bigger than Mayweather, which is weird because McGregor is a smaller guy. So you wouldn't think it, but he is. And but speaking of boxing, before we move on, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder was supposed to be July 24th. That has been postponed because Tyson Fury tested positive for COVID-19, and so I don't know if they're just waiting until quarantine's over, or if they're going to give Fury kind of a probationary period to get his health back. So we'll see where that goes.
Where was that fight supposed to be at?
I think it was supposed to be at MGM.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but
okay, if it's MGM, then I'm assuming that they're going to wait until he tests negative. Then they'll keep testing him until, like rapid test until the day of the fight.
I just you know how they've been saying that athletes that get it can't just come right back and do their sport within the 14 days, even if they're negative because of like the lungs and stuff. I just figured if with Fury being who he is and the lineal champion and not being able to lose, or he loses that, I feel like any grace period they're gonna give him, if it's a month or more, he'll take it because this is serious to him and he doesn't want to lose to Wilder. He's dominated Wilder in every fight they've fought, so why would he want to lose to him and have to use the COVID as a cop out? So I guess we'll see.
Absolutely. And one last thing before we change the subject, I could see Conor McGregor being Jake LaMotta from Raging Bull, and after his career, owning his own club, is going up there. Have you seen Raging Bull?
No, but I know who that is. Like I've seen highlights of it, but I haven't watched the entire movie.
Well, De Niro plays him. Fantastic movie. You should check it out. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Is it? I just got like a login for that yesterday, so I'm gonna have to. Not yesterday, the other day, so I'm gonna have to check it out.
There you go. But I could totally see Conor McGregor being like Jake LaMotta in the future. So moving on to NASCAR, Kurt Busch won Sunday's Quaker Stake 400 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He dominates the race after passing whom but his own brother, who still will not come and fight me, his own brother, Kyle Busch, early in Stage 2. They had a long delay in the middle of the race due to a crater. I don't know if I'd call it a crater. It looks like any other road in Northeast Ohio. We would call that a pothole. But they wanted to call it a crater in the asphalt. I guess, down in Atlanta, that's a crater. In Northeast Ohio, that's a pothole. You just kind of drive, you drive around it, or you try to drive in between it, or have it go in between your wheels.
Exactly. But us Northerners were watching that race like, man, just drive around it. What are you talking about?
Right. But then again, we aren't going 200 miles per hour down the road. Oh, well, some of us might be, but most of us are not going 200 miles per hour down a highway with craters in the asphalt. But yeah, so after that long caution, they spent about an hour and 20 minutes trying to fix it, patch it up. Came back. Kurt Busch beat his brother. His brother went out to make all excuses. Kyle Busch was all hoo boo boo boo. Oh shoot, can't think of his name. Ross.
Chastain.
Yes, Ross Chastain. He was like, it was pathetic the way that he cut me off to go the other way, and I couldn't get into the lead. No, it's not pathetic. That's racing, bro.
What's he
That's
supposed
what
to
happened.
do? Is he supposed to
He's
just be
supposed
like,
to-
"Hey, have fun"? Like,
Yeah, just move down or something. I I have no clue. But that's how Kyle Busch thinks, and that's why I still want to fight Kyle Busch. But good on Kurt for beating his uglier brother. So good for him.
how much of a shit dude you gotta be for as Kyle Busch to be like, man, screw that. That's my brother, but blah 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 blah. Blah. He had, bro, that's your brother. Give him some praise, man. Like, okay, you lost. You came in second, bro. Or what? Did he finish third?
Yeah,
I'm not exact second. So like, bro, let your brother freaking give your brother some praise for beating you out. And then Ross Chastain, yeah, was he supposed to
He
let
came
you?
in third. He came in third. So he did those moves, and I guess it pissed off Kyle. So Kyle was mad about that. And then when Kurt won, and they put the microphone up to him, he was like, "Hell yeah, we beat Kyle."
Good.
Which, yeah.
Good.
Brotherly rivalry.
Kurt Busch is the only one I like. I don't even like him that much, but I definitely prefer him over Kyle. Good for him. Glad he won over Kyle. And if you're gonna finish second or third, don't whine when somebody cuts you off. That's the name of the game. That's literally your whole sport, is to try to finish first, and by any means necessary, as long as you aren't hurting people.
Yeah, and I mean that the old school saying, "Rubbing is racing." They didn't even trade paint or anything. He just went, he just switched up on him and kept him from moving up on top of Kurt.
Which you see in every single race, bro. Like, it's not like it's a new thing.
That's why they're millionaires driving those cars. I don't know why I did the Dame time, but you know what I mean. They're the millionaires driving the cars.
Yeah, they get paid the big bucks because they could do stuff like that. We do that, we'd be flipping over walls and stuff like that. Anything else from Sunday's race before we get into this Sunday's race?
Good on Kurt. Good for beating your brother. Good on Ross because screw Kyle Busch. Did you see that crash that almost happened at Pit Road?
I've seen the. Are you talking about Elliott?
When Elliott came in, but was that the 18 car? Or no, not the 18 car. Obviously not the 18 car.
I don't know.
But,
it was a really hard race to follow because half the field used new colors. Like Chase Elliott was red and black on Sunday.
Yeah, right.
So it was hard to follow. So I can't remember exactly who it was. Actually, I think it might have been Truex Jr.'s.
It could have been. Yeah, everybody switches up their paint schemes. Remember when everybody just had like the same 3 paint schemes they switched around with? But yeah, Elliott came in and the dude putting the passenger tire on the car was out too far. And Elliott came in and if you saw the video, you could see he tried to stop a little bit, but he's coming in there going 60 miles per hour.
Yeah.
It's, luckily the pit crew guy was not hurt. He just dropped the tire, kind of took off from his driver, but luckily nobody was hurt. It could have been bad. It could have been really bad, but it wasn't, thankfully.
They actually penalized Elliott for that.
Oh, were they trying to say he came in too hot?
They said no because he made contact. with the tire.
Well, dude was out. Dude was out where they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be inside the lines.
Yeah, but dude fell forward, and when he dropped the tire, it hit the back end of Elliott's car and hit the tire back into the dude. So they fined Elliott or penalized him for making contact with somebody or something in another pit stop. So yeah, I actually forgot about it for a second, but yeah, it was a pretty big deal early in the race because it kind of almost drew Elliott out of it. Another big thing is at the end of stage 1, Kurt Busch was going to pass Joey Logano and lap him, and he chose not to.
Huh.
Because there was one lap to go, and he would have passed him for sure, but Kurt Busch decided to stay behind him, and then right before the lap ended, he tapped him on the rear end, and said, "Hey, that's for not lapping you," because they were about to do the restart after stage 1.
Oh yeah.
So he didn't want to put him a lap down before the end of stage 1. It was. I thought it was just cool that, like, professional courtesy almost.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys are buddies. A lot of them don't like each other at the same time. So, and you know what? That's racing. And that's any professional sport. You see a lot of the guys after MLB games, NFL games, NBA games trading jerseys. Then you see a lot of them that, one of them tries to shake the other one's hands, and they pretty much tell him to go, kick rocks.
Yeah.
So, moving on from NASCAR, we are going to get into Major League Baseball. Right now, on Monday night, as we are recording this, the Home Run Derby is on. We're about 30 minutes in. I don't have any score up for the home runs.
Currently, because they do that bracket stuff now, Olsen from the Athletics is hitting right now, but he's facing Trey Mancini. Trey Mancini hit 24 home runs. Olsen's got 1:15 left and has only hit 10. He just took a timeout. And
are they still only on the first 2?
I believe so. I didn't see any other ones. I haven't.
Trey Mancini. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I haven't really been intently watching because we've been doing this. But these are. I know they did like the national anthem, and they do all that extra stuff. And I'm not saying the national anthem is extra, but like the concert and stuff before. So yeah. I believe this is the first 2. Mancini kind of set the bar with 24 to open up the night.
You know what? I was thinking about it the last couple days after they announced who was going to be in the Home Run Derby.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Trey Mancini, that's who I'm going to root for. Because he just beat stage 3 colon cancer. He didn't know if he was going to live.
Yeah.
A handful of months ago. He didn't know if he was going to live. And now he's an all-star, and he's in the Home Run Derby. So you know what? Go for it.
That's a hell of a dude to root for, man. So I feel it. And, I mean, like I said, he set the bar. Looks like he should win this one. I'm not going to continue to watch it, but intently because we got to move on. But other than that, the All-Star game tomorrow night. And we're going to be watching it. Because I guess that they decided to put 2 days in between games 3 and 4 over in Milwaukee for the NBA Finals. But we'll get to the NBA in a second. All-Star game Tuesday night. Apparently, Shohei Ohtani, it came out today that he is the leadoff hitter and the starting pitcher for the American League. So just a little baseball history in that. And apparently, when he does get pulled from pitching, he's not going to have to come out of the game.
Yeah, he's going to go straight into a designated hitter. So,
that's what he does. So why not let him?
Right. Don't turn this into the no fun league.
Yeah, it's an all-star game, bro.
And this is the only all-star game out of the big 3 sports in America that actually counts.
Yeah.
The Pro Bowl doesn't count. The NBA All-Star game doesn't count. The All-Star game in the MLB decides who's going to have home field advantage for the World Series, whether it's American League or National League.
Which even though like they only get a couple innings apiece, you know what I'm saying, to pitch, or they get replaced by the reserves in the field and in the batter's box. Like, it still makes everybody try, and to see that Shohei is going to get more than just that one at bat, because like I said, they pull pitchers after an inning or two. They don't ever want to give pitchers too much of a load, which is fine. I understand wanting to replace the arm, but to give the AL a chance to give him more than one at bat, like you said, in a game where it's the only one that matters in all of the big three. You mentioned the Pro Bowl. People would be fine if that shit just got canceled.
Yeah. If they canceled the Pro Bowl and only did the skills competition, I think everybody would be fine. That's fun to watch, because there's no football on. You're waiting for the Super Bowl. Watch all these guys go down to Orlando or go down to Hawaii and, just mess around and have fun. I don't mind watching it.
Yeah, dodgeball has been more entertaining to me during Pro Bowl week than any Pro Bowl has in the last 10 years.
Absolutely. And cancel the NBA All-Star game. Just keep the slam dunk contest, the three-point contest, the skills contest.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Because it is.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't be scoring 220 points on a team in 4 quarters.
Right, and then now for the last how many years have they switched it up to like Team Steph and Team LeBron, or Team LeBron and Team Giannis? It's like, whatever. That's all total BS just for money to come in, and nobody really watches it. It's all people not trying. The only All-Star game, like I said, where players actually try is the MLB All-Star game. And so moving on from that, speaking of the All-Star game, do you want to get into this controversial topic?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get into it, because I believe I'm very happy you sent it over to me, because it's important to talk about. As we just mentioned, Shohei Ohtani is a guy in the MLB that pitches and plays baseball, and hits, and on a consistent basis. He's playing DH every game he's not pitching. So that's a big deal, and could be considered one of the brighter stars in the MLB at this moment in time. Stephen A. decided to kind of rip that apart, basically saying that it's very hard for him to be pushed as the face of the league because of his ethnicity, being an Asian American now, because he's not an Asian American. What do you?
No. He's Japanese.
Oh, Japanese.
Yeah.
As being Japanese, basically is what's prohibiting him from being one of the faces of the MLB, which is just blasphemous for someone to say something like that. Shohei is a guy that is getting the recognition. He might win MVP this year. Think about it like that. He might win MVP this year. And what do you got to say?
Sorry, go on. Sorry, I was going to say, can we play the clip real fast?
Yeah.
Baseball is an international sport itself in terms of participation. But when you talk about an audience gravitating to the tube or to the ballpark to actually watch you, okay, I don't think it helps that the number one face is a dude that needs an interpreter so you can understand what the hell he's saying in this country. And that's what I'm trying to say.
All right, as you just saw, that was just kind of a clip of what Stephen A. said. But yeah, just getting back to it, blasphemous to just say something like that. It doesn't matter what this guy's ethnicity is or where he comes from. The fact that he's doing what he's doing is historic in baseball. He deserves as much coverage as he's getting, if not more. If they want him to be the face of the MLB, he should be. His descent and where he comes from, and having to come over here to play big time professional baseball, shouldn't be a reason why the MLB can't be 100% fully behind this guy in a marketing standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. And when Stephen A. said that, he can't be the face of this sport because he has a translator. That's not going to fly in this country. And he slammed on the desk when he said that. In this country, it's like, dude, Major League Baseball is the most diverse sport in the United States of America. A lot of people can try and say, oh, what about Major League Soccer? Yeah, what about Major League Soccer? We're talking about real sports, okay?
Yeah.
We're talking. Sorry to offend some soccer fans out there, but I'm talking about real sports. I'm talking football, basketball, and baseball. He comes from Japan. Who was the? I mean, we've had so many great stars that have came over from Japan, but who was the last one you could think of?
I mean, Yu Darvish is one of them.
Yes, Yu Darvish, obviously, but I'm talking about Ichiro.
Okay, that was probably who I was thinking next. You said last one, so I was kind of going probably most recent. I can think of.
All right, I didn't mean. Let me rephrase it. I didn't mean last one. I meant, who was like the last biggest star?
Okay. Yeah, Ichiro. Ichiro's arguably the biggest star we've ever seen from Japan.
Yes, and guess what? He still has an instructor. He still has a tutor. Jesus Christ.
Translator.
He still has a translator to this day. And I mean, look at Jose Ramirez. He has to have a translator. Big Papi for a while had to have a translator, but then he started working on his English. So many people have to have translators.
Yeah, ding, 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 mother scratcher. Half the MLB gets translators.
Yeah. You know what? If any MLB players do want a instructor or a tutor for broadcasting, I am your guy.
Shoot, if you look at the UFC, like, the majority of people get translators. Like, I feel like there's less people that speak English in the UFC than there are people that need translators. Like,
absolutely,
it happens, bro. Like, it's so trivial. It's so dumb. Like I said when we first started talking about it earlier, Stephen A. knows better. He does.
Right.
Like, that's not he knows better, and it's why he has since apologized and released a statement basically saying what I just said. He knows better. He knows that's not something he should have said. It's something that and it's one of the worst parts of one of his career probably at this point is the fact that he said something like that.
And his apology, I sent it to you. You've read it. Everybody can read it. He has tweeted it out. It's probably on his Instagram, his Facebook. ESPN has probably made an article with it out there. But I think what he was trying to make a point of was that baseball fans are angry white people. Does that make sense to you? Have you ever listened to Stephen A. talk about baseball? That's how he talks about baseball fans. Or they're angry rednecks that like to see a ball get hit by a bat.
A lot of people call baseball the old white sport.
Yeah. So I don't know if he was trying to make that point or if he was trying to make the point for himself. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch First Take today. I saw all the clips, though. I watched all the clips of it, and that sounded like a personal opinion to me.
It probably was, and you from someone as professional as Stephen A., you don't see it as much coming out of him. Something like this,
and you can tell towards the end of that clip when Max starts saying almost kind of like, you can tell Max is kind of almost like, hey man. Like,
yeah,
what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, it's bad when two people you see on TV go at each other's necks constantly. When one of them's like, "Man, that wasn't good." Like, stop, nix it out.
Absolutely.
Like, even we weren't even part of it, and we're getting real serious right now. My voice tone just dropped like 20 octaves when I said that. But moving on to just another wild story, not coming out of the MLB, but coming out of the NBA. not necessarily the NBA itself, but ESPN, but centered around NBA analysts. Rachel Nichols has been removed from most of her ESPN programming. I'm not going to say all because I can't confirm it, but I believe it's all of her programming.
Last I saw, she was on the jump, but that was last week.
When she apologized, I think that was the last time she's been seen. But video it surfaced of basically her alleging that Maria Taylor has moved up at their job simply because of her race, being an African American. And no matter how you feel about this, race is a big issue in America, and this is something that just shouldn't be said on TV, shouldn't be said, period. And Nichols is kind of paying the price. She did get removed from the NBA Finals as well. Rachel Nichols has been kind of one of the faces of the NBA Finals when we talk sideline reporters or courtside reporters and stuff like that. So for her to be removed from the NBA Finals, ESPN is taking this very seriously. I'm not going to get into comments on whether or not it's true or anything like that because I don't have an opinion on it. I can have my own personal opinions on it, if I think either of them are good at their job, but I'd like to not make a statement on race being a part of that because it's a messed up thing to allege or even think that happened.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It should be about qualifications. Was it Maria Taylor was taking her spot, or was it Maria Taylor getting another sideline spot to where they were going back and forth?
I believe it was just that she was being given the opportunity alongside Rachel Nichols. Because Rachel Nichols was still supposed to be the NBA Finals reporter until the stuff surfaced. The situations happened. Rachel Nichols, up until and even after that point for a couple days, was supposed to be running NBA Finals coverage. Basically, I believe, and don't quote me on it because I don't know the exact wording of what she said, but it was mostly just about that Maria Taylor has been given more opportunities based off of race rather than qualifications.
Gotcha. And like I said, I agree with you. I don't condone anything like that, any kind of speech like that. But I will say, and that's the worst thing to say is but.
Yeah.
But I feel like Rachel Nichols felt like she was trying to get pushed out and maybe she attacked back. Who knows that situation? I'm not in Connecticut. I'm not in Bristol. I'm not with, I'm not with those guys. But, yeah, she has apologized. I think on Friday she was on the jump, and I don't know. It was just background noise while I was doing emails and whatnot, so I didn't catch her apology or whatnot. But speaking of people that are unqualified for their jobs. And I'm not saying that Maria Taylor is unqualified for a job. I was going to say, UFC, I meant to bring this up. They had Addison Rae as a side ring reporter. And then as soon as they got done, they fired her.
They fired her before the show, bro. She announced it that morning, and the way she announced it, she was making fun of people that went to school for journalism. Because she never did. She said she did 3 months, but because she never finished it but has that job, she was basically making fun of people and saying that she was now going to be a reporter for UFC. They canned her ass before the show even started.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, because I've been seeing mixed reviews online, and that's what I was going to say about the whole Rachel Nichols, Maria Taylor thing is Maria Taylor is obviously qualified to be there. If she's at ESPN, she has done her job to be there.
Yeah.
So is Rachel Nichols.
Yeah.
Now, if it was Rachel Nichols saying that about Addison Rae or Kendall Jenner or TikTok people, I don't know. I don't know these TikTok people. I'm an old man, but that would make sense. But Maria Taylor, from what I have seen, has done a great job, and Rachel Nichols seems apologetic. So I think there's something that's going to be worked out there at ESPN.
Yeah, Rachel Nichols will work her way back, and things will work out there. Just a messed up situation, and
yeah.
But on the bigger and brighter things, the Phoenix Suns currently lead the Milwaukee Bucks 2-1 in the NBA Finals after Milwaukee wins Game 3. The home team has won every game of the series so far. However, it took Giannis willing the Bucks to victory the other night, scoring 41 points, also adding in 10 rebounds to lead them to victory. Here's the thing.
Yeah, and
I was just gonna say, here's the thing. We're kind of at a crossroads here. We're at Game 4, pivotal. The Suns win it. We're likely to see them start. We're likely to start talking about them running away with the series and winning the series. If the Bucks win and tie up the series, then we got a whole new ball game. We start wondering if the Suns are too injured at this point. As you know, in Game 1, they lost Dario Saric to a torn ACL. And he's a big part of their team. They're down to 7 guys that are routinely playing a bunch of minutes.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, too. In Game 3, Devin Booker only put up 10, and Chris Paul only put up 12, I believe.
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I don't have the stat sheet in front of me. Yeah, they need to step that up. They were doing the fast offense, which is good, but they're going up against bigger guys in their home court, and you just can't do that. And they were slowing down on defense. Like, the only person playing defense really seemed like Jay Crowder.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That team is young, man. Like, Chris Paul is obviously the Grizzly vet there, but like, I think if you're looking for the Suns to lose on cardio, you're gonna be sorely mistaken. If you're looking to tire out the Suns, you're gonna be not putting yourself in a good situation because they are so young, and that's, I believe, one of the big reasons they're in the finals is because, despite the fact that there was the short season. And we've seen it catch up to so many veterans. The Suns are so young, and they're still young in that career, and them legs are still semi-fresh. And I think you're going to have a long, troubled time trying to tire out those guys. And CP3, he's one of the best guys there's ever been when it comes to just being a cardio freak.
I mean, he's a part of the Banana Boat squad.
I get it. There's those guys that are just different, and he's one of them. And so I'm very excited for Game 4 Wednesday night in Milwaukee. I believe it starts at 8 p.m. Or it's probably 9 p.m. to be honest, because of the West Coast.
Yeah, I believe it is 9 p.m. on ABC.
Yeah, ABC gets the coverage. Very excited for it. Go Suns! Suns in 6. I figured Milwaukee winning Game 3 doesn't really change anything for me. I kind of figured that would happen. Like that's something where I was like, okay, yeah, duh. I told you about the story where Chris Paul was 0-11 in games where Scott Foster was the crew chief on the referee crew, and and he is now 0-12 on in playoff games where Scott Foster is the crew chief on the referee crew. So adding to that theory, that's because I'm telling you, NBA Twitter was going nuts on Sunday when they announced that Scott Foster was going to be the guy.
Oh yeah, I was totally like at first when he sent me that I was like what, and then I looked it up and I was like wow, like that's I'm an X-Files guy, so that's a conspiracy for me.
Yeah, I figured you'd love it.
Yeah, you got to look into that. He's got something against CP3.
Yeah, that's weird. It's just that's like that any detective part of anybody's brain that sets it off for sure.
Right.
At least to me. But that's all I really got for the finals, man. That's kind of what happened. CP3 had good games, won in games 2. Him and Booker didn't really show up that well in game 3. They show up in game 4. I think we're booking a series for the Phoenix Suns. If they don't show up, it's a whole new ball game. Best 2 of 3 down the stretch. Someone's got to give. Someone's got to win an away game to win an NBA title. Right now, it's looking like Chris Paul and Giannis are probably leading the voting for Finals MVP. I also want somebody who's losing at halftime to come back and win a game, so we can get fiery Doritos tacos back. Because I haven't had one of those in a while, and I was a fan of the way they tasted. So
I thought that was gonna happen in game 3. To be honest.
I mean, it was starting to get close, and then something just fell off with about 8 minutes to go in that game, where the Suns didn't. I think they got within 4, and then after that, kind of, it went away. But
yep.
But I guess that's kind of what happened. Like I said, kind of expected Milwaukee to get themselves a win in Game 3, and not kind of go quietly. I didn't figure it'd be a sweep. By any means. I'd been happy if it was. It'd have been cool if it was. Suns in 4 has been trending for about 3 weeks now. So it would have been cool to be able to tweet that out and get some publicity off of that. But that's like I said, that's all I really got for basketball. That's all I really got for the show. Besides what you got for me on this day in sports history, my man.
I'm actually going to right before I get into this day in sports history. I'm going to go straight into my guys, the Tampa Bay Lightning, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. We're not hockey guys, but I'm a Florida guy. I'm a Tampa Bay guy. You know that. I'm Cleveland number 1, Tampa number 2, Phoenix number 3. My guys got it down there. Didn't watch a single game this year of them, but just wanted to shout them out on back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. So, moving on from that, July 12th, 1979, Down with Disco. Disco Demolition Night at Comiskey Park. Now, that is the White Sox old stadium. Fans were told to bring in their disco records so that they could destroy them between the doubleheader between the Detroit Tigers. Obviously, everything went crazy. People were throwing records everywhere, breaking them. They got onto the field. They were burning records in the field. Just an absolute madhouse, and that's why they do Dollar Dog Night at places. You know, they don't do nights like that.
Yeah, you're setting yourself up for disaster when you're inviting people to bring in stuff to set on fire. That's just something that I don't know why you would set up for, let alone set up for in between games. Like that was going to be something that you easily clean up. 20,000 people bringing in something to burn. That's just something that's gonna, we'll sweep that up real quick and start another game in an hour. That's not something that happens. It's wild. It's cool to kind of. We've been doing this for a while, and it still surprises me some of the things that come up when you search what happened on this day in sports history. So something like that, just it's up there with Bottlegate and the people throwing stuff on the field at the Browns game when they were leaving town. It's iconic moments in history.
Absolutely, and that's why there's no more 10-cent beer night, which, as you know, my father was at 10-cent beer night. You can check Time magazine for that picture, but yeah. So it was in 1979, an attempt to promote the baseball game in Chicago, a local DJ, they hired a local DJ to tell fans to bring their disco records, which would be destroyed on the field between games. But then they brought explosives onto the field and were just blowing up the records and everything like that. So they had to cancel the second game, and the Tigers won the match or not the match. I don't know why it says match, but they lost the game because the White Sox had to forfeit.
Yeah. Figure. I mean, that's kind of what should happen. You guys messed everything up. Can't play a game because there's shards of records in the field now because for some reason your promotional team was like, let's blow shit up.
Right, and then you got these people that get on the field and they got these fireworks in their pockets. You got to remember, this is '79. This is pre 9/11. You could get in anywhere, with anything in your pockets. So they were just blowing shit up. They said they blew up the field. They had to resod it and stuff like that, and put in new grass and whatnot. So
messed the whole day up for them.
Yeah, that's why there'll never be a 10-cent beer night at Cleveland Stadium. Well, I mean, I guess there can't be now, but Progressive Field or any Cleveland event.
Yeah, those end terribly, and it happens though. But you got anything else for me, my man, before we wrap her up?
Yeah, I just want to touch back on the Stephen A. Smith, Rachel Nichols, and Maria Taylor, all three of them together.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Why can't we just, live in unity, live as one? If you are qualified to do that job, then you are qualified to do that job, And that's whether you're a baseball player or whether you're a sideline reporter. Come on. It's one love. And I hate to sound like Kyle White, but it's one love. So
the only thing I got to say about it, what?
Go on.
The only thing I got to say about it is be better.
That is true. Every day, we should all try to be better.
Just be better, man. That's it.
Yeah. That is true, but also, you gotta love one another. We gotta have unity.
Yeah, for sure. That's. Where can I follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at ETH Simpson, CGOD. You can follow me on Instagram at ETH Simpson. You can follow Brendan at
BWardCLE on Twitter, at B.Ward52 on Instagram. Do not forget to follow the podcast at PodcastGiven on Twitter, at Any Given Podcast on Instagram, Facebook.com/AnyGivenPodcast. Do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube. Get your numbers don't lie shirt that Ethan's fantastically wearing over there. Check out KentStagePosters.com. Check out the new Kent Stage website, KentStage.org. Get all the new concerts that are coming up for the rest of 2021 and early 22 and any and all updates about the Kent Stage. Thank you guys for tuning into this latest installment of Any Given Podcast. You have a wonderful rest of your week.
God bless, stay blessed, and love one another.